I wanted to bring you a review of the Stage One full PA system, 2 tops, 2 subwoofers for quite a long time. But these are the production versions. These are the actual ones that are rolling off with the tweaks and the changes they've made since the pre-production one we reviewed. But also the sub, the XB sub. They're from Electrotec, and they are the most fully rounded PA system that does everything you could possibly want for DJs that I think we've ever reviewed. And as you're going to see now, the flexibility with these is awesome. But the thing I want to concentrate on the most were the 2 things. Number 1, they are fully battery powered, which is unusual for something as big as this, and as you're going to find out, as powerful as this. But number 2, they work with this. You might have seen this before because we've reviewed the Soundbox speaker that has SKAA Pro built in, and we've also reviewed Dillinger Labs Death from Above and Death from Below, which is another PA system using SKAA. It's a lot smaller than this PA system. It's about half the price, but nonetheless, same concept. So what is that concept? It's wireless without all the drawbacks of Bluetooth. So that means that you can plug one of these transmitters into your DJ gear and it can send the signal to up to 4 speakers. So obviously I've got 4 here. It is guaranteed to be a certain latency, which is something we'll talk about in a little while. And it is going to be rock solid over a much bigger distance than Bluetooth. So for performance, for times when something matters, you need something that isn't Bluetooth if you want to use wireless for DJing. Now, why would you want to use wireless for DJing at all? Well, frankly, look, we're outdoors here. Even here, with the nearest power indoors, it's just easier to wheel the things out and plonk them down. But look, battery powered, wireless, no leads, outdoors, swimming pools, barbecues, kids running around, events and so on. Putting the speakers exactly where you want them for fill-in sound or for satellite speakers. It gives you a lot of versatility. So the next question people always ask is, how long do the batteries last for? We're going to talk about that as well. But just to cut a long story short, a very long time, far longer than any gig you're likely to play. So that would not be an issue. Plus they've got something up their sleeves to help with that as well. I'm really impressed with this. You will know I'm impressed with the tops because of the original review. The sub just adds 2 10-inch beefy drivers down there to put a real punch into the sound, and taken together, frankly, I can't put them anywhere near loud enough for long enough to push them how they're meant to be pushed here. We live in a residential area, even though my neighbours are quite forgiving. All right, so now you know what they are. Let's go round the back and take a little look at some of the features of these speakers. So let's start at the bottom, which is the easiest to explain because there's the least here. These are your standard wired inputs. So you've got that combi jack down there, bottom left, where you can plug in XLR microphones or a guitar, and also you can plug in your 1/4-inch jacks, which is what you'll use for the line input because that's what it expects line inputs to be, unless you press the guitar button, of course. You've got your 2 volume controls there, your 2 gain controls, and your peak meters. Now on the right hand half of this panel are the outputs. You can switch it left, right and mono, which obviously is going to kick in depending upon what you've got plugged into those 2 sockets on the left, and your output XLRs that you can feed off to whatever you want, maybe to a subwoofer if you want to wire that part. I'll tell you why you might want to do that in a bit. Also you have an 1/8-inch output there as well. Now here's where the fun starts, and I'll try and remember everything to explain to you here because there is quite a lot. So this is, on the left hand and the right hand side, one empty, one not empty, your battery compartments, hot swappable batteries, which means that it will always take power from the battery which has the most power in, or the only one that's there in this case, and it will continue to do that until it runs flat or you take it out. Now here is the power supply. Press that in to turn the power on and we are off and running. Now you can tap this to switch through the modes. I'm currently in SKAA mode, which is the one I'm going to demo to you, but you also have standard Bluetooth mode, auxiliary input mode, or monitor mode there as well. Now this here is your Bluetooth button that you're probably not going to use. However, you can use Bluetooth just to casually get audio playing through these things. Here's your main volume control. Nice big volume at the top there. Now that is volume for a different type of controls. That will control either the Bluetooth input if you've got a Bluetooth input, or all the speakers if you've got them connected up in one of the SKAA modes, which is really nice. You've got that press there to switch between individual speaker or whatever else is connected mode. Now over here we see a lot of the versatility of this. So you could plug in a MP3 stick there, and you've got play, pause, and 3 clicks to go back and 2 to go forward. So you can control any MP3 source plugged in there easily. 1/8-inch input there, and also there is a USB-C input there where you can plug in your phone or whatever and play music from that. That will also charge your phone, which is nice. This is a classic standard SKAA button. You press this down to control the SKAA functions, although SKAA bonding, which is their version of pairing to pair with the transmitter, will just happen automatically, and you can long press this to prefer the transmitter you're locked to. It sounds complicated, but it's a lot easier than Bluetooth, which is pretty damn cool. Now down on the sub, it's much the same story. Again, we have our two hot swappable battery compartments here. Again, we hold to power it on. We have various modes here, which is slightly different. So SKAA mode is the top one, but also we have our 3.5mm or XLR TRS. There's the inputs for those there. And you also have the line out. So if you've plugged in your main input here, you can run the line out from here up to the speaker above. But we also have these settings here. So low pass filter, you can decide by turning this volume knob here. In this instance, it's used to select the low pass filter cutoff frequency. You just stick a naught on the end of that for hertz. Then we've got phase, so you can have these in or out of phase depending on how you've got them set up. Routing as well, so you've got your left, right or mono there. You've got your XLR high pass filter and XLR routing settings there as well. All of this explained very clearly in their extremely in-depth manual, so definitely worth figuring that out depending on how you've got them set up. Again, I'm going to be demoing them in SKAA mode here. Before I do demo them though, I just want to talk about the design here. These are absolute classic PA speaker design. They're just a very nice taut wooden case, properly covered, big carry handles, rubber around the edges. And the whole point about this is the speaker is held properly so it can kick out as much damn volume as it can from those very powerful amplifiers that are built into these speakers. They are the same size, which is actually quite useful because it means that you can stack them. So I've seen these set up with like one sub and three of the top stacked literally horizontally on top of it, which really is a powerful system. However, trust me, what we've got here, especially a pair of them, is something that can kick out sound a long, long way. Also, the poles are quite important. My poles can only just handle this. They are quite heavy. So I would say make sure you've got decent quality poles if you're going to be using these out in public. All right, Gibraltar, are you ready for this? SKAA transmitter switched on. Track lined up on the MP3 player. All plugged in and ready to go. Turned the speakers on. They all found the SKAA transmitter instantly. Nothing else to do. As I like to do this summer anyway, my test track on PA systems is Electronic's masterpiece, get the message. So I'm going to hit play on this. The volume controls on here. These are all just turned up to full already. Let's see what it sounds like.
I always thought of you as my brick wall, built like an angel, 6 feet tall. 6 feet tall.
I honestly don't dare play that too loud around here. Got standards to upkeep. These are loud. I mean, look, this was on, where was that? It's on about a third volume here. I didn't want to push that any louder there, and these are all turned up pretty high. You've got volume here that if you go and check out the videos on their website, they've got a video where they set them up on the beach somewhere in California, and they're so far in the distance you can hardly tell their speakers, and you're still getting this full sound. The bass is carrying across the sand. They're quite harsh sounding when you're this close to them, like any PA system has to be, because in order to disperse the high frequencies over a long distance, it needs to pump out quite a lot of them. But that said, it's got it. It's got it even this close up. It's got it, and of course the separation between the two of them. You're literally feeling the bass in your feet, and you're feeling this right in your head. I did test it by walking all the way down. It's a huge balcony here. By walking all the way down to the balcony earlier on, a little bit quieter, just to check how the audio melds as you move away from them. And as with all PA systems, of course, that distance between the two of them here becomes nothing when you're stood a long way away. And at that point, it kind of turns into one really good sound. I said this when I first tested them. They sound great, but you stick that underneath it. You don't need that underneath it, by the way. These have got plenty of oomph on their own. This is just extra. I would say probably one of the Stage One subs is going to be fine for most DJ environments. A pair of these, set up as they're set up here, I think you'd be good for 250 people outdoors, maybe 500 people indoors, maybe not quite that much. Maybe you're looking 350, 400 people in a nice enclosed venue. But they really are something else. It's the fact you've got the battery and you've got the wireless and you've got that power and you've got this professional old school PA setup look and feel, and they've got the versatility. So the only other PA system I've tested with SKAA is the Dillinger Labs, who make this stuff, their own PA system. And it's great, it's fantastic. It's not designed for this, it's half the price. It's designed for half the capacity venues. But it's really, really like, look, this is who we are. We ain't gonna put anything else on it. We ain't gonna put Bluetooth on it. We ain't gonna put any inputs on it. We're not gonna put any outputs on it, any throughs on it. Basically, you're gonna be using our system or nothing. Hasn't even got swappable batteries, although the battery does last for a long time on that system. So that one is really purist. This one is everything. So as you've seen, you've got the Bluetooth, you've got the SKAA. These can actually work as SKAA hubs. So you could plug directly into one of these and you can use one of them to power 3 more speakers to do the whole lot. And that's what I want to talk to you about now. This is the final thing I want to talk you through, which is latency. Because latency is the thing that will trip up DJs. And so I want to talk you through the 2 options you have here. Neither of them are perfect, both of them are serviceable. The first option is to do what I've done here, set up one of these, 4 of those, and then accept the 37 milliseconds latency. It's noticeable when you've got your headphones on, you're queuing tracks up, you're listening to the hi-hats on your track, you can hear that's a little bit behind, but it is just a very, very little bit. A lot of people wouldn't even notice it, even I don't care. It's close enough for me not to, but I do notice it, it is there. Or you can link this up to 2 speakers. So you could link this up to 2 tops, or a top and a sub, both of which will give you a lot of volume. And then you can use SKAA Pro mode, which is only 19 milliseconds of latency. Now that is unnoticeable. I defy anyone to notice that. Finger drumming, scratching, queuing, whatever, you just won't notice it. So that is the way to go if you need performance, performance, performance. So what if you want that? Well, 2 solutions, both of which work really well. The first one is just to link each of the subs to the top with a wire, no problem. They're both next to each other. Wind it around the pole, you're done, with an XLR cable. And then use this to power just the subs, and then the subs can feed up to the top speakers. That way you're only powering 2, that way you get your 19 milliseconds. That's probably what I would do. The other way of doing it is to get another one of these transmitters, and you can use the through on the bottom of the transmitter to basically stack the transmitters and have them set by your DJ gear. And then you've got 2 of these, so each one can feed a pair. So there you also get the 19 milliseconds latency. These are about $250 each. Let's talk about prices. This whole system here, it was on offer actually when I researched it all before filming this review. The whole system there, you can get for about $5,500 at the moment, but I think that's about 20% or 25% lower than it normally is. So probably a good time to buy them. I think they're about $1,600 normally, and they're about $1,100-1,200 at the moment. So as I record this, beginning of July actually, 2026, they're on offer. So it's a hefty investment, about double the price of the other SKAA system I reviewed only a week or 2 ago actually. But what you're getting is that volume, you're getting the hot swappable batteries, pair of them in every one. You're getting all of that technology so that you can use it with pretty much anything, wired, unwired, Bluetooth, USB, laptop, you know, and of course the star of the show is definitely SKAA. You can charge the batteries when they are not in use, so with or without taking them out of the unit. So you could have a set of batteries charging off somewhere while the other set is happily powering it. So in theory, you could be going on forever. Look, this is very, very, very convenient stuff. It sounds very good. There's no compromise for the size of cabinet and the size of speaker on the sound. They are loud. These look a bit like the Soundbox speakers, don't they actually? But I'd say they're probably Soundbox on steroids. So you get the convenience, you get the volume, and the reliability, the build quality, the professionalism is also there as well, which you'd expect for this price, but it is. They're the nicest sounding medium to large PA speaker I've heard in a long, long time. And adding all that convenience and all that versatility and just the sheer stupidity of pressing one button on each, if that, and suddenly you've got a full working PA system with 4 units with no cables either to the mains electricity or to any of your equipment other than this plugged in at the back of your DJ mixer or controller. Is just mental. So let me know what you think underneath. This is the Stage One full system, the XB sub and the Stage One tops from Electrotec. What are you using? Do you think wireless is a fad, or do you think it's something that it's definitely worth having for the kind of gigs you play? What's your favourite PA system? Let me know. Now, if you would love to play gigs, you'd love to go out and DJ, but you're not really sure how it's done nowadays, maybe you used to do it in the past, and you realise everything's changed, even the stalwarts of the DJ world, the PA systems and stuff like that, lighting, they've all changed as well. If you want to know what it's like nowadays out there, how to do it nowadays, do take a look at our all access training. Here at Digital DJ Tips, we've been teaching DJs just like you everything you need to know about modern DJing for many years now. All Access is the best training we have. It's everything we've got, and there's more ways than ever to get on board All Access. It covers the gear, the music, the mixing, the performing, and everything you can do with DJing nowadays, from good old-fashioned mixtapes to podcasting and live streaming, playing parties, playing out and about in clubs, of course, and everything in between. We've even got many DJs who set up successful and profitable mobile DJ businesses just on the back of our training in that area as well. It's all in there, and there's more ways than ever of getting all access now. You can subscribe, you can buy outright, or you can get in installments. So go take a look. And again, please let me know what PA system you're using and whether you think this stuff runs and runs, or whether it's a dead end for you. Until next time then, this is Phil on the Digital DJ Tips balcony saying get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.